This video is not intended for anyone 13 or younger. Hello viewers and welcome back to another exciting chapter of My Hero Academia. And so last week with more controversy, apparently people are being super toxic and trying to make bullshit excuses about with making some of the characters' birthdays apparently weirdly connected to very bad people from World War II and World War One, and that's kind of a bit of a stretch. Even I called it out on Twitter, saying it's a bit of a stretch and a BS right there. And hopefully things have simmered down because there was a recent hashtag that I was a part of with "We Support You Horikoshi" on Twitter. So yeah, and it even got a few likes for some of the comments I meant. So with that little thing quick out of the way, we're going to be tackling chapter 261. And last time, Mukuro, the number 5 hero, who's also a bunny girl, just where we last left off, Mukuro just entered the deep bowels of the Mad Doctor's laboratory and basically destroyed most of the Mad Doctor's work, and killing Johnny, who's now dead, and now people are mourning at him, paying respects. And let's see where this chapter is gonna go. So we're going to be tackling chapter 261. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It only takes 2 simple clicks. Click, click. Enjoy the episode. So right off the bat, we get a full cover page of Mukuro just about to kick something, about to get the audience, the viewer, and looking good in the artwork, with Horikoshi doing his good artwork in the full page spread. So the title of the chapter is My Hero Academia, chapter number 261, High Ends, by Horikoshi, translated by Caleb Cook, and lettering by John Hurt. And I know I could have done this like a couple of days ago, but I'm just reading it from the Viz translation because, like I said before. So let's move on to page 2, and we continue where we left off with Mukuro after Mukuro kicking down the door. And she gives a good kick to a metal door, and the metal door goes through some high-end Nomu tubes, and a reminder, yeah, Johnny is dead. And the Mad Doctor is just freaking out from the last chapter after going full circle on this whole bullshit of being surrounded and whatnot. And he says in his head, "Good boy. Well done, Johnny." As on the next page, with page 3, we get a bit of a flashback with the Mad Doctor meeting All for One, and he gets into his head for a while, saying, "Your bottomless curiosity and pursuit of knowledge are always such a boon to me." And that this is probably implied this is All for One saying this. And we see all the carnage around him, and the Mad Doctor's just freaking out as the flashback continues, saying, "From the bottom of my heart, thank you, my dear friend." So this could have happened like 5 years ago, as far as we know. And we do know that the Mad Doctor has a rejuvenation quirk. And for all we know, he could have other tricks up his sleeves, like other quirks. For all we know. And Murkrow just destroyed the lab more, and we continue on page 4 with Murkrow, with the Mad Doctor first saying, freaking out, saying, "No!" as his lab is in his all of his hard work is destroyed. And we have Murkrow on the radio, and she's saying, "Guys, I found the old fart in a bunch of tough-looking Nomu." And we get a bit of science, and I think the Mad Doctor's saying, "Ah," in the background. And the conversation with Muguro continues. "Don't know, but a good kick should tell me." And we cut to Endeavor, and as he continues saying, "Capture him." And he continues saying, I wish I could say we're right behind you, but we got a bit of a cutaway to the whale Nomu from last time, and yeah, he's basically been toasty by Endeavor, so he's fried to a crisp. So the whale Nomu with the Nidhogg for a tongue is basically dead. And we get the reason why Endeavor was making a sarcastic remark. While on the next page we see mostly the heroes are fighting the lesser Nomus, and they're still fighting like in a giant burly brawl of Nomus, just kicking ass in awesome art panels. And Endeavor finishes it with saying, "It might take us a minute." And we cut to Lockout, or Lock-in, I can't remember, from the raid arc, as he says, "These flunkies keep popping up all over." And he switches the channel for a sec and talks to someone. "Hey, milady, is the hospital evacuated?" And we cut to outside with one of the wild pussycats saying, "Yes, we just got the last patient out. So everybody's out of the hospital, so it's okay to go frickin' nuts." So we cut to continue with page 6. As we continue, we meet a new hero going down the laboratory shaft and seeing the aftermath of Mukuro's little rampage in the last episode. And oh my god, there's like a lot of dead Nomus everywhere. And she just went. Murkuro in the last chapter definitely went full Pickle Rick killing rats. As if they were rats from Pickle Rick getting slaughtered. As we see this new hero continues saying, "I see. Thank you for the details." As he continues going down the hall, he says, in his head, "Each of these small rooms is a storage chamber, so that's where all the Nomus came from." As his thoughts continue going down the hallway, he goes back and saying, "A passageway. It must lead up and out, so the morgue isn't their only route." So there's multiple ways of getting into the laboratory. As more of the lesser Nomus just fill up the hallway and try to go after our new hero. As he arms up his hands, like scale plates or something, as he finishes up his mental thought saying, "Forgive me, pitiable, pitiable foot soldiers, but I must defeat you." As we cut away, I think it's still the new hero saying, I know he's like ranked number 6, I can't remember his name right off the bat. So we cut back to Murkuro just about to kick the Mad Doctor's ass as the shield hero saying, "I must apprehend the root of evil. That lies that's Murkuro saying, "I must apprehend the root of evil. That lies ahead." So she lunges forwards, goes after the Mad Doctor, and on the next page, page 8, we see her about to go full pickle wreck again on the Mad Doctor, saying, "You're the real one. Are you the real one? Let's find out." And she just lunges. And the Mad Doctor just basically freaks out about this, saying, I I'm the real one." So he wants not to get beaten into a bloody pulp. At least Murkuro would stop. And Murkuro just ignores it and just continues saying, "Better give you a good kick in the... Better give you a good kick to be sure." And basically kicking his ass. As the Mad Doctor just freaks out. Oh my god, I'm gonna get kicked. And then we get into the Mad Doctor's speaking again. Right. The high-end Nomu. Like the one Dobby used? Oh god. The high ends are going to come out and play now. As the Mad Doctor continues, I think this is a flashback scene. While on the next page, while this dialogue continues, he goes into his coat pocket to receive something out of his coat and saying, "No, impossible. These other little ones haven't even reached the testing phase." And we get a bit of the Mad Doctor's head, saying, What I wouldn't give for another half a day. If only Dobby hasn't failed to recover Hood's body. Manufacturing more without All for One around is no small feat. As we see what he pulls out, it's like a iPhone or something. He pulls out a little iPhone, and Murkrow does see it. And we get more into the flashback of Hood coming out of his tube, saying, with the Mad Doctor saying, it took little Hood 10 hours to stabilize once activated, so I don't know what stabilize supposed to meant. They should be strong enough in a pinch like this, but as the kick is just about to hit where the iPhone is in the arm where the iPhone is. On the next page, the other little Nomu blocks the shot and redirects it slightly, and Murkrow freaks out, like, huh? And the other little Nomu that was seen earlier, and the Mad Doctor reacts, Mocha? As Mocha starts changing into the Mad Doctor clone? Like, did he had like a second twice clone? So that was weird. And Murkrow able to kick it, and now it's dead, exploded, by the looks of the artwork. As Murkrow talks to herself, this one's got the double quirk, huh? Kabloosh, and Mocha's dead. And probably the Mad Doctor's next dialogue continues. A true miracle. As the Mad Doctor presses the iPhone buttons, and oh shoot, this is not gonna be good. And we get more into the Mad Doctor's dialogue while we cut away to the HighEnd Nomus in the tubes in their pods, and as the Mad Doctor continues, using your quirk without even being told to and you did it to protect me, little Mocha. Your courage wasn't for nothing. As electricity goes down into the tubes, and things are about to get ugly with the next two pages being the two panels. The first panel we see like a whole row of HighEnd Nomus as the Mad Doctor finishes his sentences. Go slaughter those meddlesome heroes, as I think 3 of the HighEnd tubes just bashed in. Like they break out of their tubes early. And we get a cool double page spread of 2 of the HighEnd Nomus attacking Murkrow. And the Mad Doctor finishes saying, my precious HighEnds. So yeah, no, I count 3 HighEnd Nomus. And one of them was with a brain exposed out with hair, one with a caged eyes with mouths for hands, and a metal head Nomu. HighEnd. So let's continue with page 15. And we see one of the HighEnds, I think, bashed Murkrow into another tube, and she's up on one of the upper floors. And I think that's the one with the hair. So and the next 2 panels on page 14 is just the cage for eyes and the hair HighEnds just regenerating their limbs while they're trying to form their sentences. Cool. Trying to put their minds together. And reminder, these HighEnd Nomus are freaking clever. Velociraptor clever. So we move to page 15, and we see all 5 of the HighEnd Nomus trying to put their brains together, developing their personalities. And a reminder, these high-end Nomus have may have host bodies with their unique with their individual minds still intact as their based forms as they start forming their sentences. One and we meet the five new high ends where that the heroes are going to be dealing with as they start in their sentence. Hero, hmm? Been so long. Hero. Can go wild. Hero. And we see one of the high ends finishing forming the sentences, and now they can make sentences. Kill them all. Let's go nuts. And we introduced to five of these new high-end Nomus, so we get a proper good first look at these five. So from from right to left, on the far right we have the hair Nomu high-end. The second one is like a weird brain exposed with no human features, with like a long tail thing for a head. The cage for eyes Nomu. A bird looking high end. And we get the fifth one on the left is the metal head. The last one on the left has a bit of an armored head for a head, and it kind of looks like something we've seen. Like, so I think I call the armored head, metal head, and I'll probably think of good creative names like in later in the week. So I think the one on the left, who's Metalhead, I'm calling Metalhead. No one hasn't noticed it, but think I think I can guess who his original host body is by the way of the head, the armored head. I don't think people have put it together. I think Metalhead could be Crimson Riot. Like Crimson Riot is dead, reanimated as a high end because of the way Metalhead looks. Like, he does have the weird mask thing, and the head looks like a boot that could simulate his hair. I think I'm just gonna call it that Metalhead is Crimson Riot. I don't think people have noticed that, but if I'm right, that Metalhead could be Crimson Riot because that would go freaking nuts. So with that weird similarity gone, we cut to page 16 as we see that the shield hero finally arrives and he sees Murkrow getting beaten up by one of the by all five as he shouts Murkrow, and we see that the cage high end attacks him as he says, I'm not sure about your rank, but I know you're Crust. As Crust, now we got a name, saying, a talking Nomu? In his head? Correct. How astute. As we see the Mad Doctor's usual chair as somebody goes towards it. As the Mad Doctor gets onto his chair and whooshes off. Get the frick out of there. As we get into his inner monologue saying, I'm sorry I couldn't give you enough time. But I leave this to you, my high ends. As we cut up above with Mokuro, as she's saying, with an awful kick-ass glee, saying, "You think you're getting away, you old fart? Whatever, whatever. Things are only just heating up." As she's looking down at the other four high-end Nomus with Metalhead and yeah, all the other four Nomus high end. So yeah, things are gonna get freaking crazy, and she probably goes full pickle Rick on their asses. And I can see her arrogance is going to be her downfall. And the next chapter will come out on March 1st. So we're getting a break this week. So yeah, this chapter is just heating up the fights, and now we introduce to 5 new high-end Nomus with unique personalities. And I'm probably thinking that Metalhead could be Crimson Riot. I think I'm going a little crazy, but it's just the way he looks. And I may be going nuts. And with the Mad Doctor taking off like that, he's probably like on the way, like whooshing by, he's probably just giving Murkrow the finger after trashing his laboratory and just flipping the bird at her. Just like, I can only just think about it right now.
I hope you can see this because I'm doing it as hard as I can.
And yeah, that's the end of the chapter of chapter 261. So things are definitely going to heat up with the hospital, and hopefully the other heroes can arrive after taking care of the lower end, the lower Nomus. And besides, the high ends are going to be freaking difficult because remember, Hood high end was able to almost defeat Hawks and Endeavor. So yeah, this isn't with 5 of them on the loose. I can see a few heroes die, and Murkrow with her arrogance, she may be the first casualty of war in this. And I just want to see some really good fights. Hopefully these high ends stick around for a bit throughout this arc. And hopefully the 1A students get to fight some of the high ends, like getting involved in the fights. I could see a few potentials that things are going to get crazier, but I'm just I'm just shocked. And next week we will be continuing with another chapter that another manga that I should have started in December now moved to next week with chapter 3 and chapter 4 of Vigilantes coming out. So until then, have a good day, everybody, and I'll see you on the very next chapter episode in 2 weeks. Bye for now.